So this video, I'm just going to walk through some of these settings in the Navien NCB Combi model. This is my system in my own home. We got a lot going on here in a tight space. I've showed a few videos on this, walking through it. Maybe I'll do another one in more detail, walking through each component. So look out for that video soon as well. So what I want to do, like I said, is just walk through some of the main menu settings. This will help when you're sort of starting up your boiler, configuring it when you're first commissioning it. So what you have here is a few buttons. You have a back button, a menu button, and the power button. So what we're going to use right now is the menu button to get in to the main menu. There's a lot of items on here that we could walk through. So the first one being status information. We'll click that. This is basically just all of the status of each sensor, what's going on. So all the things that the boiler can display to you are under this setting. So a lot of this we'll use for just diagnosing while the system's running, just to see what a certain sensor may be reading. So for now, the number one is in standby, meaning it's not calling for heat. Number two, heat capacity. That's just telling you the percentage of what this thing's running at. So when one of the zones is calling for heat, it may be at 15% capacity, maybe it's at 50%. It all just depends on how many BTUs this thing. So if it's a 100,000 BTU unit and it's maxed out, that'll say 100%. So that will change depending on how many zones are running, how much your heat draw is. But it's nice to be able to go in there and see how much this thing's pulling at any given time. SH set temp is the space heating set temp. Domestic water set temp is obviously your domestic hot water set temp. That's what they're set at. It doesn't mean what it's currently doing. And then it goes into some sensors what the supply temp is, the return temp, and so on. I'll just pop back because I want to get into the space heating portion. So space heating operation. This is where you're going to set up all your settings for the space heating portion of this, as opposed to the domestic hot water. The first one up here is SH set temp. That's what we're going to set our space heating temp to. So right now I have mine set at 120. That's because I have radiant in-floor heating. Now we'll go back. So the second one is zone settings. So whether you're using zone pumps like I am, and those will get wired into the zone pump terminals inside here, or if you're using zone valves, which I am not, those will get wired into the zone valve terminals. And that depending on what you pick here is telling the boiler when you do get a call for heat, are you going to be turning on a zone valve, or are you going to be turning on a circulator? So in my case, like I said, this is set up for pumps, so we click that. Outdoor reset. So this is where a lot of people get a little confused because the terminology is a little confusing. So outdoor reset is referring to the outdoor temperature sensor. Outdoor reset will allow the boiler to automatically change the supply temp, which was this SH set temp that we were just speaking of. So outdoor reset, depending on the outdoor temperature, if it's 0 degrees outside, it's going to give you a higher temperature. And if it's maybe 30 degrees outside, it's going to give you a lower temperature. That is assuming that because it is warmer or colder outside, you're going to have different amount of heat losses. So if it's 0 degrees out, you're going to need a higher supply temperature to be able to heat your building or your home. So when you go into there, well, let me get back in here. So outdoor reset, when you click there, first it's going to say activating outdoor reset will maximize boiler efficiency, because it's going to automatically adjust that for you. An outdoor sensor must be installed. So right now I don't have the temperature sensor installed. So if I click on here, it still gives me an option to enable or disable. Now if I enable it, it will give me a warning and start flashing because I don't have the temperature sensor hooked up. So for now, mine's disabled. If you do enable it and you do have the sensor hooked up, it's going to ask you to go one step further and choose what type of heating you have. Do you have in-floor heating? Do you have baseboards? Do you have radiators? And depending on the one you choose, that's going to follow a different heating curve depending on the outdoor temperature. So for example, if I choose high mass radiant, which would mean concrete, I don't want to ever give this thing 180 degree water. I want that highest temperature during those 0 degree days to only still go up to about 120, 125. So it's going to follow that. Now, if I have baseboard, I want on those 0 degree days to be at 180. And then on the warmer days, it'll go down to a minimum amount of, I think, about 150 or so. So the manual does show at the very end of the manual, there's a section for the outdoor reset, and I'll show you the individual curves for each type of heating and what you'll be getting. You could actually also make a custom curve depending on your situation. So I'm going to get back into space heating operation. WWSD temp. What that is stands for warm weather shutdown temperature. So depending on what you set this for, if you do not want, this actually says when activated, the boiler will not operate when the outdoor temperature exceeds the setting. So what it's doing is you're just setting a temperature that if the outdoor temperature goes above a specific amount, the boiler will not kick on, even if your thermostat calls for heat. So do with that what you sort of feel. I have it off because I'm in full control of the boiler and what I want it to do. Maybe you get some temperature swings during the day because of sunlight coming in the home, or vice versa, however it may be, and it's going to affect these different things. So I just turn it off because when it does become time for those warmer seasons, I just turn my boiler off, the space heating off manually anyway. So you could choose however you'd like for that one. So WWSD on or off, that's again just turning it on or off. Navien zone control. So this is if you purchased a Navien zone controller, you could connect it directly to this. I personally don't use them. I just use like a Takeo one if I ever need more than 3 zones. So this boiler will do 3 zones internally without needing an external controller. That's 3 circulators or 3 zone valves. SH control method. This is one that this says controls the space heating temperature based on either supply or return temperature. So in my case, and possibly in yours, if I've designed you a system or built you one, I would recommend getting an external temperature sensor. And that gets placed, you can't really see it on mine because it's behind this. That's what this silicone tape is. There's a sensor mounted directly to the supply pipe that feeds each zone. Now what that does is typically the boiler would just be monitoring the water temperature that it's making. So if you set the boiler temperature to 120 degrees, it's gonna read that there's 120 degrees going out. However, when you have the return water coming back into the manifold, it's going to be mixing with that 120 degrees. So you might knock that down to say 100, 115, but not 120 like the boiler is making. So the only way for the boiler to know what's really actually going to your zones is by putting an external sensor on the supply pipe. And then you will change that setting in the menu. Go back in here, SH control method, and you'll choose, typically it would be on supply temperature. That's the boiler's reading itself, what its temperature that it's making. What we want to do is go to system supply temperature. Now it's going to be pointing at that sensor and saying, okay, you want 120 degree water, but maybe the boiler has to make 130 degree water in order to get 120 over there. Some of this gets a little confusing. However, you just have to think about the boiler is just simply putting hot water out and taking it back in, and it's mixing with your other zone water. So this is called a primary loop, and this one is your secondary loop that goes to all your heating zones. So that's something that I recommend to all my customers because I would say almost 99% of the systems I see installed do not use that. So this is just a better way to have more control over what your system is doing, its overall efficiency, and how it's heating your home. So let's see, then that's it for space heating operation. Domestic hot water operation is another few settings we can mess with. So first one being domestic hot water set temp. this is choosing what temperature you want your domestic hot water to be. So I have mine set for 130 because everyone in my home likes burning hot water. So you can change that up or down however you like. The next one is domestic hot water recirculation. So this allows you to choose if you have an external circulator to recirculate hot water throughout your home. You do need one of two sort of, not devices, but there's two ways to go about this. You either need a Navien, which will get mounted at the furthest away faucet, and it will allow you to use your cold water line as a return back to the boiler. Or you could choose to install a return line, basically creating an entire loop throughout your home. So again, I've designed many of these systems. That's something I do offer with boiler designs, is if you do want hot water recirculation design into it, we'll do that as well. So depending on the type you have, you would choose recirculation type, either no recirculation or Combi preheat or external. So like I said, if you have an external circulator with a return loop or a Navien, you'd click external. However, I do not recirculate my hot water. So what the other option, if you do not have external recirculation, is something called Combi preheat. Now what that's going to do is just always monitor the temperature of the domestic hot water within the heat exchanger, and it'll keep that water set at 130 degrees in there, which really just gives you a little bit of a boost when you do have a call for hot water. So essentially what's happening is the boiler is just going to kick on its own by monitoring what temperature that water is inside there, so that when you turn on your faucet, instead of waiting maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds, maybe you only have to wait 5 or 10 seconds. It just all depends on the length of tubing you have to your faucet. So it does use a little more fuel because it is constantly checking, but it's very minimal. To me, it's worth it. I do notice a big difference on when I turn the shower on, having that Combi preheat on versus not having on. So the other option you have when you do click Combi preheat is always on, which is basically, like I said, it's always monitoring it. That's what I choose. Or you could choose intelligent, where over a week or so it tries to learn your habits and keep the water preheated only when you typically use it. However, that could be tricky, just because maybe your habits change within that week that you just set it up, or and then you're kind of stuck with what it's doing unless you reset it. So I always just do always on. Or weekly, you go into here and it says adjust on off times using the command dial. So what you can do here is actually set up a program of when you want it to do the preheating. It's very flexible. You have a lot of ways to program this. Let's go back. The other menu items here are just error history. If you do have any errors that pop up, it will show them directly on the screen, but once you back out or fix the problem, it'll keep a log in there, which is nice just for diagnosing. And a lot of these other things you probably won't mess with. Configurations, just getting back into language settings, all your time settings and whatnot. Those are originally set up. It walks you through when you first plug in the boiler. It'll ask you those main type of settings before you even get to this main menu. So yeah, that was it. Hope this was helpful. Obviously I could do more detailed walkthroughs or explanations of anything within that menu item specifically for you if you need. Email me at my email address that's in all my videos descriptions if you have any further questions, or if you want a design done, or if you want me to build you a system. Comment below. Again, if there's anything else you'd like to see in some of these upcoming videos, let me know. And with that said, we'll see you guys on the next one.